Y'all, welcome back to Twin Oaks Farm Poultry. Thank you for joining us. This is day one of a new flock of 300 Cornish cross meat chickens. We've finally got them moved in. They were shipped to Southeast Ohio from Southwest Ohio through the United States Postal Service. They arrived in our area about 2 o'clock in the afternoon. We needed to drive 25 miles to pick them up, 25 miles back home, and then it took a good hour to get the boxes unpacked. I started out by myself, ended up having extra set of hands. My husband got home from his day job, so he helped finish getting them into the brooder. We went through that process and we uploaded shorts really showing that entire process. And in our move-in process, we just take them out of the boxes one at a time so we can get an official count and we can handle each chick and see that everybody's looking good, or at least note if there's any chicks that aren't looking okay. And we make sure to dip their beak in water at that time as well. And then we let them stay in the brooder for about an hour and settle down from the stress of shipping and transport. And we want them to get that water in their system because it helps start their digestive system off correctly so that when they add food to it, they can handle it better. Because, you know, they are immature. They have an immature digestive system. They've just been through a lot of stress, and we want them to move in and get settled. And then after they were here about 2 hours, I filled chick feeder trays. In fact, I just finished putting them down. So they arrived in town about 2. They got home to the farm and unloaded starting about 4 o'clock, and we were done with that about 5. And starting about 6 o'clock, I put feeder trays in. And I'm going to show you the brooder setup. The birds are doing well. We had originally turned the heat lamps off because it's in the high 80s. It was in the low 90s when I brought them home, and that's about where the chicks want to be. But we actually ended up turning the heat lamps back on because they were huddling together. So as I've said in previous videos, you know, our brooder is a temporary structure within a permanent structure, and it's kind of an open air feel for them because they're down on a barn floor, and we do have heat lamps there for supplemental heat. So they did end up wanting some supplemental heat even though it was already really warm. So you'll see that here in the brooder setup. So just giving you a look at what we've got. We ended up turning on 5 heat lamps for them, and we started with about 6 waters, and I actually ended up adding 2 more already. So we've got 8 waters in there. I didn't count the feeder trays. I used all of my chick feeder trays. And so they're, you know, dispersing around the pen. I do want to give you some close-ups here. I mean, when we get these little birdies in, they are tired. And when chicks rest, they rest 100% with their whole body and soul. Those little chicks that are standing under that heat lamp, they are actually going to sleep. So I'll actually see if I can get at a little different angle. These 2 here, y'all can see them. The one is leaning on the other one, and the one is falling down, settling down. They're falling asleep. So, so there we go. They really are very cute, especially on day one. And so this group has really taken off with the feeders. Sometimes it takes them a while to like figure out what the feeders are for and what's in the feeders and what to do. But as soon as I put them down, they more or less swarmed them. So they know what that's about. They know what the water's about. And they're really liking this corner. Now I'm noticing an issue with this heat lamp. I'm going to actually unplug it. It's going off and on. And so I'm probably going to just take it down and swap it out for a different heat lamp. And we need to take a look at that one. So we've got others, and that's a good reason, even with small flocks, to have maybe 2 heat lamps instead of just 1, because if one does go out, the other heat lamp is still functioning and will pick up any slack there. So, but even it's still in the high 80s, and these birds are, you can see they're like gathering under a heat lamp, and they'll get settled. Now, can you see the 1, 2 of them, or 3 of them have their heads down, but they're standing, they're falling asleep, and they'll eventually, like, that one kind of woke up, but they'll eventually just sag down and sink down. So they are really cute. But they swarmed these feeders, And so I tried to keep the feeders all out around the perimeter. And they do seem to like this corner, and that happens with every flock. They find some part of the brooder pen that they really like, and they try to stick to it. So we ended up, official count, 305 chicks. So we had 6 boxes, so there was an extra in 5 out of the 6 boxes, and everybody looked good. Everybody looked great coming out of the shipping boxes, so really pleased with the flock. These came from Mount Healthy Hatchery near Cincinnati, Ohio, and they are Cornish rock cross meat chickens. You can see they already have a little bit of pine shavings getting in their water trays, but that's okay. We clean them out all the time. So we'll let them eat down the feed that's in these trays before we refill them. But this is day 1 of our Cornish rock cross meat chickens, and we'll do a video a day to show you their progress and show you how they're doing. So thanks for joining us. We appreciate y'all very, very much. And we would love to hear your experiences or any of your questions and any of your thoughts on what you see in our brooder setup with our chicks. So thanks again for joining us at Twin Oaks Farm Poultry. Please do subscribe to our YouTube channel.